Hey guys, this is George with Proper Flops. Wanted to share this video featuring Dr. Oz talking about the dangers of cheap flip-flops. But first I want to give you guys a quick shout out for all the support thus far. We've come a long ways in a short period of time. We still have a long ways to go. It's a lot of work, but we're getting there, and we have some really exciting things to announce in the next several months, and I look forward to sharing that with you. Talk to you soon.
Flip-flops. They're the summer sandal I know so many of you can't live without. They're cheap and they're easy. But what you may not realize is they could actually be harming your feet. Today, you'll find out the truth behind flip-flops and which ones you ought to be wearing. But first, I want you to meet Renee, a self-proclaimed flip-flop addict.
Dr. Oz, I live in my flip-flops. I have so many pairs that I've lost count. I wear them everywhere. I wear my favorite pairs until they're completely worn down. I love them, but could they be bad for my feet?
All right, so Renee is here, and she has brought her entire flip-flop collection. Is that it? You want to show it to us?
This is it. This is all of them.
That is a lot of flip-flops. So you must love these a lot.
Yes, they're so comfortable. They match everything. They're cheap. Why not?
You love them more than shoes, I can see. You own shoes also?
They're my backup shoes. I do have regular shoes, but they're my go-to.
So these may look comfortable, and I agree they are easy, but let's look at a closer view, if I can, with you. Come back over here a second. This is what a typical flip-flop looks like to me, and these are the concerns that I have. You notice there are two thin straps here. You notice it's pretty thin in its sole, and there's no arch support. That's the trifecta of problems for me. And so when I see those three things, I start worrying about a couple issues regarding to our feet. The first problem is pretty simple. There's no hard sole, and it's thin, so if you walk along, and I don't know where you live, but around where I live, we see construction sites once in a while, and you step on anything sharp, that happens. So this is just the beginning. But I'm even much more worried about flip-flops and how they change the way we walk, because actually there's a significant event that occurs. Let me show you, if I can, how I look at a foot as a physician. Okay? Notice how many bones there are in the feet, right? And when you got a dozen bones and structures that hold them together, you realize that you have to be able to manage them the right way. Now, normally when you walk, your foot has a little bit of an arch to it. Okay? Notice that? Yes. And you see this little red thing here? That's the plantar fascia. So it actually has the ability to stay limber and loose as you walk. When you're actually on a flat surface, in particular if you're wearing flip-flops, it tautes out the muscles. So can you see how it gets that plantar fascia really tight?
I can see that.
And as that gets tight, so it goes from a nice loose setting, when you're in regular shoes with little arch support, to a very taut setting, you start having little micro tears, little irritations right in this part of the foot, the back of the foot, close to where the tendon attaches. And that irritation is called plantar fasciitis. I suspect you've heard of that.
Yes, I have. You
see that little ridge there? Can you all see that in the tight camera? See that little ridge right there? Little catching area? So go ahead and feel that with your finger. That's called a heel spur. Let me show you an x-ray what happens. This is actually of someone's foot who had plantar fasciitis. See the spur here? When you have repeated trauma there, calcium deposits there, and that little spike there then digs into your tissue. Oh, it feels painful, doesn't it? Just the thought of it?
It's like a nail in your bone.
Yes, it's like a nail in your bone. And that causes repeated irritation of the plantar fascia. That makes it worse every time you tap. So when you first get out of bed, even when you're not wearing those shoes, even when you're wearing the right kinds of shoes, it becomes a problem. It literally feels like this nail going through your foot, except there's no nail there. So it's harder for us to deal with that. All right. So can I give you some good news for a change? Now,
Yes,
that hopefully scared you a little bit. The good news is if you're walking around in high heels all the time, you don't have to give up your flip-flops. It's actually been shown to be beneficial when you get home to be able to walk in flip-flops because they take some of the tension off your knees. The other thing is that by walking in the right kinds of flip-flops, you can avoid all those headaches. So I'm going to give you a quick primer on this, okay? The first thing you want to do is avoid those really thin soles. So get a little bit of a thicker sole, a little bit of a cushion sole. You don't want the heel to be more than 2 inches tall. So this is about 1.5 inches. And if you do it that in a smart fashion, you'll actually have a little bit of protection from the external environment, from infections, and from trauma, from nails and the like. The other thing is you want to make sure that you have a little bit of arch support. Do you notice there's a little bit of a cushion here?
Yeah, it goes up a little bit.
Right, and that going up area, this area right in here, allows you to take the tension off that plantar fascia so you don't get those spurs I spoke of.